Welcome back to the Space Gulag, my friends. We are back at the PPG with another Star Wars theory. This is what if Qui-Gon Jinn was the Grand Master of the Jedi Order. Now, let's get some basic information out of the way. Qui-Gon Jinn was a Jedi Knight trained by Jedi Master Dooku. Jinn was born on Coruscant in 80 BBY, making Jinn about 48 years old at the time of the Phantom Menace, when he died. Now, let's disclose some information about how close to impossible it would be for Qui-Gon to literally become the Grand Master. The Council was very tied to the Republic Senate, as we know, and much like his master, Qui-Gon Jinn believed the Jedi had strayed from their path. This, along with the fact that Qui-Gon wasn't a master, would have made it incredibly hard for him to even enter the ranks of the Council, let alone become its Grand Master. And on another note, Qui-Gon's master, if anything, would have been more likely to become the Grand Master, as we have to assume that Qui-Gon would actually accept his role on the Jedi Council. As we know, Count Dooku, or Jedi Master Dooku, had declined the offer to join the Jedi Council, and Qui-Gon could have done the same thing. In this situation, though, we are going to say he doesn't. So, what needs to happen? Qui-Gon has to join the Jedi Council before 32 BBY. Why? Well, that's going to come into the story. Qui-Gon is also having to be equally, if not as powerful as his master, Count Dooku, or Master Dooku. Grandmaster Yoda also has to die of old age, and let's say that happens in 35 BBY. At this point, Qui-Gon Jinn is in the Jedi Council. He is equally as powerful as Count Dooku, not more powerful, but equally as powerful. Maybe not as good as a duelist, because Dooku was the best duelist. Let's get straight into 35 BBY. The Grand Master has fallen ill and is ready to move on with the Force. Qui-Gon Jinn has been studying the ways of the Force and requests the Council to speak with the Grand Master alone. Qui-Gon enters Master Yoda's room and finds the Grand Master ready to pass on with the Force. Qui-Gon kneels at the foot of Yoda's bed and speaks to him softly. Yoda opens his eyes for a brief moment to catch a glimmer of his last apprentice's apprentice. Qui-Gon tells Yoda about how to transcend the Force, how to become one with the living Force. Qui-Gon tells Master Yoda to trust in the Force and that if he does, he can return from the dead and live in immortality. Master Yoda listens, and before the blink of an eye, he becomes one with the Force. His body leaves the mortal realm to join with the living Force. Qui-Gon calls for the Council and makes them aware of Grandmaster Yoda's passing. Mace Windu, being the first to enter, asks what happened to Yoda's body. Qui-Gon gently places his hand on Mace's shoulder. I taught Master Yoda one final lesson: how to become one with the Force. Puzzled, Mace asks, what does it mean? To which Qui-Gon would tell Windu that there is a path to immortality through the Force. That as long as one trusts in the Force, they have the opportunity to become one with it. Weeks would pass after the funeral for the Grand Master. The Jedi Council would convene to discuss what holds the fate of their future, where the Jedi Council has the opportunity to go, and who should lead it. The Council decided that they would elect Jedi Master Qui-Gon Jinn to become the new Grand Master. Now, though the Council members disagreed with a lot of his vision, and how the Jedi would act under that vision, the votes from Windu, Plo Koon, Yaddle, and Rancis would help make Qui-Gon the Grand Master. Qui-Gon was honored to have this position, and shortly after the council session would end, he would find his former master, Dooku, and talk to him. The two would discuss ways of the Jedi and how they could change the direction that they were going in, because they both believed that the fall of the Jedi would occur if they continued down the path of following Republic politics. They both knew that there was a way to save the Jedi and move the Jedi towards a more proactive means of protecting the galaxy. Qui-Gon would enter the library, where he would talk to Jocasta Nu about the former Grand Masters of the Jedi Order, and learning about how the Jedi had failed to stop the Sith in the past. Jocasta Nu told Qui-Gon that the Sith haven't even been seen in centuries. Jinn told her it was because he had felt the Jedi were on the wrong path, and that he believed there was arrogance from the amount of power the Jedi held onto for so long. After days of studying in the library, Grandmaster returned to the council chambers. When the council gathered, Jinn stood up and spoke softly to the council of an old Jedi code. There is no emotion, there is peace. There is no ignorance, there is knowledge. There is no passion, there is serenity. There is no chaos, there is harmony. There is no death, there is the Force. Qui-Gon believed the Jedi had gone away from their true path, betraying not only their oath to the galaxy, but their oath to themselves. The ever-so-quiet Plo Koon spoke up, telling the Grand Master that the Force had brought him to the helm of the Jedi Order for a reason, telling Qui-Gon that the Council stands behind him on his next move. For the next 3 years, the Jedi would be separated from politics of the galaxy. They would separate themselves from the Republic and no longer align themselves with the Republic. They would just be the Jedi for the galaxy. They would be the keepers of peace in the galaxy. Though there was a need for Jedi on the planet of Naboo in 32 BBY, the Grand Master would take his apprentice Obi-Wan Kenobi with him. Now this could be technically seen as a political act, but for this instance we're going to say that the Jedi were sent to make sure nothing escalated into a full-blown invasion of Naboo, because there were innocent lives on the planet. Now all the events of Phantom Menace would be the same, up until the Jedi brought Anakin back to the Jedi Temple. Now because Qui-Gon was the Grand Master, he would be able to tell the Council that he wanted the Jedi to train Anakin, and though the Jedi could be skeptical, Qui-Gon at this point would tell them that the Jedi Council would be active in helping grow the young Jedi, meaning that every council member would spend time with Anakin to help him foster into a great Jedi. But he were to be Qui-Gon's apprentice. Qui-Gon would also inform the Council that Obi-Wan and him had encountered a Sith on Tatooine, proving to the Council that in the few years prior, Qui-Gon was right to lead the Jedi Order away from politics to focus on peacekeeping in the galaxy. As the story of the Phantom Menace continues, it would lead Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan back to Naboo, though this time without Anakin, who would begin his training with the various Council members, who would become increasingly impressed with the results of the young boy. Back on Naboo, the Duel of Fates would begin. Before we get into the Duel of the Fates, I have to announce that I will be doing a giveaway on the PPSW. Yes, you heard it here first. I will be giving away 3 lightsabers when I hit 10,000 subscribers. So when we get this Star Wars community to 10,000 strong, I will be giving away 3 lightsabers of the individual's choice. So 3 winners, 3 lightsabers, and everyone gets to choose their own lightsaber. If you love Luke Skywalker, you could have a Luke Skywalker lightsaber. If you love Anakin Skywalker, you could have that Anakin Skywalker lightsaber so you can murder all the younglings. If you want the high ground, then you can have Obi-Wan Kenobi's lightsaber, or you can make your own custom lightsaber. It would all be paid for by me. But we're going to be running this channel until we hit 10,000 subscribers, so hit that subscribe button if you want a chance to win a free lightsaber. Back to the theory. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan would be more than enough of a match for Darth Maul, who was in over his head. The boy that he had seen on Tatooine was not there, and he was outmatched by the Grand Master and his flashy apprentice. One thing to note about this duel is that Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon beating Maul would make Kenobi less likely to become such a large studier of Form 3, which we see a lot in Revenge of the Sith. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon would defeat Maul. Quickly, swiftly actually. They could defeat him by killing him or making him surrender, but for this theory, and the sake of this theory, he's going to be killed off, just by being slain. Now, one misstep of not having Anakin there is that the droid forces would actually wipe out the Gungans. None of the fighters were able to kill the Lucrehulk over at Naboo, and the invasion of Naboo would be stopped by the Republic after the Gungan massacre. Sorry, Darth Jar Jar. Though the Jedi were able to help the Queen briefly, they were mostly there for the Sith, Darth Maul. After they defeated him, they would leave. Obi-Wan would ask his master why they didn't help the Naboo. He would tell Obi-Wan that the Republic was interjecting and that it wasn't necessary for the Jedi to be political adversaries to the Trade Federation. As time passed since the invasion of Naboo, Palpatine would rise to power, but it wouldn't do much to offset the Jedi. Obi-Wan would become a knight eventually and have himself an apprentice at some point, and Anakin would be trained closely under the supervision of the Jedi Council. Qui-Gon would set up Jedi outposts in the Outer Rim, much like in the times of the High Republic and the Old Republic. Jinn did this so that the Jedi could help out backwater planets like Tatooine, where the Republic outlawed slavery was flourishing. Qui-Gon made sure that Shmi Skywalker was freed from slavery, and that the other slaves on Tatooine were as well. After their freedom, Anakin was allowed to visit his mother. Qui-Gon believed this was fair to his apprentice. Mace disagreed with the motion to allow Anakin to keep attachments with his mother, but Qui-Gon said that keeping him away from her could lead him down a path of darkness. As the galaxy moves towards Attack of the Clones, nothing is really swayed for Palpatine. He probably has some sort of apprentice, but not Dooku. He never leaves the Order. He has no reason to. It's even possible that Palpatine doesn't even kill his master in this theory, but we're gonna say that he did because he was positive that Maul would do something and take Anakin or beat the Jedi or something along the lines that wasn't involving dying on Naboo. Palpatine had one thing going for him though. and that was the clone army. The only issue is the galaxy had found a love for the Jedi once again. In the 13 years since Yoda died, the Jedi have become protectors of everyone in the galaxy. The underbelly of Coruscant has been cleaned up and is crime-free. The Outer Rim, the Mid-Rim, and the Core all have Jedi outposts that are frequently operated. The 10,000 Jedi in the galaxy at this time were not all located in the Grand Temple on Coruscant. Rather, the Jedi emulated their former self, the Old Republic Jedi, the Jedi that sought out the trouble in the galaxy and put a stop to it. Palpatine as Chancellor would orchestrate a way for the Clone Wars to begin, but the Jedi would hold their mantra. As Qui-Gon Jinn was leading them, they would stay protectors of the galaxy. But the Jedi would not be intermingled with the Republic in the war effort. The Jedi, though, would serve in mercy missions. The Jedi would bring aid to those around the galaxy because the CIS didn't have any quarrel with the Jedi. Because they were not specifically aligned with the Republic. Even though they were on Coruscant, their job was not to fight for the Republic. Their job was to be peacekeepers of the galaxy. Because of that, the CIS allowed the Jedi to do mercy missions, to go to Ryloth and help the people on Ryloth, or the Twi'leks, and stop slavery. And the Jedi were doing what the Jedi were meant to do. Order 66 would be near impossible for Sidious to complete because the galaxy wouldn't believe the Jedi deserved to be executed. Instead, the Clone Wars would be much different. Sidious's original plan included the Jedi being warriors, but since they backed out of the Republic when he was becoming Chancellor, there was nothing he could really do to stop that movement. He was already building the Clone Army, and he already ordered the Clone Army. Eventually, he would be removed from power, and he would have to go about his plan another way. Now, obviously here is a little cross where we could say that he does execute Order 66, but executing Order 66 wouldn't really do much because the clones weren't really at all near the Jedi. The closest clones to the Jedi would be the Coruscant Guard or various clone outposts out on backwater worlds, but because the Jedi were unaligned, they wouldn't be fought by the Separatists. The Jedi's job was specifically to protect the people of the galaxy, not fight for the Republic. So in this instance, of course we could say Sidious tells the Separatists to go after the Jedi, but from a political standpoint it doesn't make any sense. From the political standpoint of the Separatist government, it doesn't make any sense for them to target Jedi because the Jedi are just doing mercy missions, not fighting for the Republic. Whatever Palpatine does though, it wouldn't really matter. By this time Anakin would be the most powerful being in the galaxy and would be the perfect balance of a Jedi. Anakin at some point would kill Palpatine, and Anakin would eventually be welcomed to the Jedi Council. The galaxy would be at peace, and the Sith would be extinct. Wow, I hope you guys enjoyed this theory. I really like this, honestly. I think it's a much different way to look at how the Jedi Council could have been operated. Obviously, I had to twist some things around. I'm gonna get some comments, I know, because people didn't watch the beginning that are gonna be like, oh, what? This doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that? Well, it's like the most unlikely scenario. It really is. I mean, Qui-Gon Jinn was only a knight, and he died a knight. He wasn't a master Jedi, and he wasn't even on the council. He was highly disregarded by the council, actually. So him being on the council would be very unlikely, but in this scenario, I wanted to twist some strings a little bit, play George Lucas for a little bit, and turn the story around where Qui-Gon Jinn was basically the Jedi that brought the Jedi together, bring the Jedi back to their old ways. Of course, I do believe that Qui-Gon would actually allow the Jedi to have attachments, to be kind of like Legends, Luke Skywalker's order, where attachments were allowed, because it just makes more sense for that little studying tidbit there where Qui-Gon is studying the ways of the Jedi. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe so you could have a possible chance of winning a lightsaber. Anyways, guys, I love you all. Spread the love, and always remember, may the Force be with you.